Okay. Welcome to the Winning Podcast. My name is Anthony Glenn, where I'm your host, and I'm super excited to have my Samoan brother, Nalu. I got it right this time, brother. I got it. Yes. So I know most people be messing it up, man. First and foremost, brother, I want to say you are the first VA Loan Masterclass graduate and the first interview person from the class that we just did with 890 veterans. So I want to say thank you for volunteering to get on here and talk to people. I want to ask you a couple of questions. What branch of service did you serve in?
Hey, I retired from the Army 2017. And then I've been doing residential real estate since 16.
Okay, so residential real estate since 2016, and then what? Okay, so United States Army. Now, if I would have known that, man, I would have had to put you last, man. The Army guys, man, you know the Marines, dog. No, I'm joking. But listen, man, I'm glad that just a fun fact. My father served in the United States Army. He was in the Army from 2000, no, from like the 80s, and he did 32 years. He was a comptroller. He went from E1 all the way to colonel, retired. So, you know,
Wow.
um, I just want to say thank you for your service, brother. What were some of the duty stations that you served at?
So so I retired as a command sergeant major. So I did 30 years myself, and 17 was the time, but the duty station was all over the place. Germany, Kuwait, Iraq, couple times, Afghanistan, a couple times, and stationed Fort Caution. I never got lucky to station in Hawaii. Every time I asked for Hawaii, they send me to the East Coast. I think they didn't like me for some reason, but it's I'm all over the place.
That's fantastic. And what year did you join the army?
I joined in 1980. I was delayed entry program in '86, but I officially came in '87.
Joined in '87, brother. What do what you got to let me know who your Botox doctor is, brother, because you look young.
Hey, like I always tell everybody, man, you gotta have that coconut oil, man. You gotta rub it.
Well, okay. So you joined the army. Okay. What made you join the army?
So one thing that I always tell a lot of soldiers, I mean, my soldiers when I became senior, is that there's only three ways. Well, actually, there's four ways a kid in the island, Samoa Island, will join the military. Uh, one, you got to be smart enough to get a full scholarship. Two, you got to be big to play football,
Yep.
right? And and three, you got to join Uncle Sam. So I wasn't part of the first two, so I end up on the third options. And then you don't want to know the fourth option, because if you want to know the fourth option, you got to stay home and sell coconuts.
That's fantastic. And you know what's crazy? My first duty station was Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii. That's where my first duty station was. So, that place is mystical, man. I fell in love with Hawaii, man. I don't think that me being able to be stationed there as a young Marine. That's when I got my first loan for a car for a 17% for a 97 Buick Regal Limited. Okay, so so financial decisions when you're at a young age, man, it's completely different. Um,
That I was in the same boat with you. I came back from Desert Storm, so I thought I have all this money. So guess what? Same thing. I went and bought me a 5.0 Mustang LX and put down my only savings that I have, for thinking that, okay, this is a great investment, of $5,000. And then I was like, man, I regret that thing every day. I talk about it. I was like, man, that lack of financial education is really hurt back in those days.
Now, why do you think the military doesn't teach about financial literacy? I mean, why do you think that they don't teach us about? With you being a command sergeant major, I know they have programs and stuff like that. But what do you think? Reflecting back today, why don't you think they educate service members on investing in real estate and financial literacy?
That is a really good question to to think about it now. In my last 10 years, when I was paying the Sergeant Major rank on, that was one of the things that I was trying to get back into it. I was talking to first command financial advisors. But of course they gave me all the knowledge that me put money in, right? So I thought at that time was good, because I've been invested with them for over 20 years. So I figured, oh wow, this is really good. So I encouraged the soldiers to start talking to a financial advisor.
Hmm.
But if I rewind the time of my knowledge, what I learned now since I retired in 2017, I probably can help so many soldiers today, including saving their houses from foreclosures and things like that. And you asked the question why the military. I think they put it as a last priority
Yep.
with the military. They never put as the only thing that they taught us, because of course I came in the army at 17, 18 years old, is hey, how to balance your checkbook, right?
That's true.
So they bring those. In the army we have community service. They call it ACS. So they bring all some of these financial people and try to teach us how to balance the checkbook and stuff like that. But that's the only financial class that you get on those days. But I think they don't put it as a priority. It's a lack of interest for them because they feel that the soldiers, it should be a individual responsibility. And it's so sad that my knowledge that I gained since I retired 2017, that I wish I can help a lot of soldiers. So that's what I'm trying to do today. Every soldiers that I come across, or any military member that I come across, we talk about finance. And I always say to them, I say, you can stay in as long as you want, but your financial knowledge and your financial planning has to be good before you walk out.
That's a fact. And you know what's crazy about it? With you achieving the rank of command sergeant major, you had to be really good at your job. And what's crazy about it is that when I reflect back, I don't remember anybody telling me about the leveraging real estate. And it is true. I kind of feel like obviously they get a cut when the fundamental problem that I have found out with if I could do anything over different, I would also buy as much real estate as I possibly can. And the reason why is because the lack of real estate prints money no matter what anybody says, especially with us getting housing allowance and traveling state to state. Being able to leverage that housing allowance, tax-free BAH in different locations. I mean, you can have properties all over the place by the time you exit out.
Yes, I totally agree. And I remember I bought my first property in Savannah, Georgia, when I was stationed in Savannah. That was 1996 property, and I bought it was a small property. It was only like 1,100 square foot, right? It's a 3 bedroom, 1 bathroom, a living room, a small one. It's right next to Savannah State University. I mean, so I bought that property at $54,000. So I went back and look at that property as of today, because of Savannah Grow, that property is $325,000 at value today. And but that property is still the same. It's nothing. I went and looked at it on the Google and everything. I was like, it's nothing changed. It's still the same property.
And it's
But because of the value of the area, because the value of the area was, is growing, and it's the of course all the properties are going up in that area in Savannah. Yeah.
And what's insane about that is when we were talking about this stuff, right? I'm trying to get in this little camera frame because I'm live on Instagram too. So
Oh,
so that's why I'm moving around. I'm like this, right? So what's crazy about this whole thing, man, is that I learned that at a very young, like buy as much property, and the fundamental difference that I saw between that was different from anything else is that what I noticed is that um, the buying my strategy, my investment strategy has been the same since I started. I bought property near military installations. I created the corporation so I can have money flowing into the corporation so I can build a business line of credit. And then I leveraged the equity position to get more property. Now, what made you get into real estate? So Savannah was one of the properties that you bought. What made you get from? Uh, what are you doing now? I know that you are doing the real estate venture with Grant Cardone. How did you find out about that? And then what has that changed? How has that mindset changed you?
So so I don't want to tell my age, but if you know carton sheets, you remember carton? So back in the 90s when I was stationed in Savannah, Georgia. So on Saturday morning, I always flip that channel and I always say, buy real estate with no money down. Right. So I bought all carton sheets program back in the 96, 97. So we end up buying a house because of, using the VA back then. And that's where my passion was because I always want to get into real estate. So I learned so much at the time with all the cassette tape, the DVD tapes from carton sheets, and so it's so funny. I still have those today. I know some of them can barely work now. I can barely hear it because it's so old. Um, but I still have those today with carton sheets, and it's so funny. What I learned now with the buying real estate with no money down, it's almost the same concept. It's just kind of like a different how the law changed, and
Yes.
that's what like 30 years ago, and it's so funny. But I got into it because of carton sheets, and I was all into it. And of course, I had like 12 months left before I ETS, before I get out in the army back in '97, and so they activate us to go back to Kuwait when Saddam Hussein act up. So when I came back, so everything falls apart. You know how the military, when you go home, something else happened, and you come back, the family fall apart, right? So I have no choice because I have a 12-month-old child. I have to, so I end up staying back in instead of ETS, because goes back again, lack of finance, lack of knowledge. So I allow fear to hold me instead of me just took that step and use the knowledge, the education that I learned from Carlton Sheet because I was ready, but I wasn't ready to come back and get a separation, get a divorce.
Yeah.
When I came back from I wasn't ready for that because I was like, man, what I'm going to do with financially, to support my 12-month son at the time. So that's where the challenge I faced. So I ended up staying in, but my mind was always on real estate. Was I always want? I say, I know what this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. Want to say, but of course, being in the military, every time you go somewhere, they flash you that rank and it's like, hey, we get you E8 right now. Hey, you get your E9 right now, right? So so it's just allowed the pride. I think the pride in me just continue on wants to serve, because knowing that, okay, I can do something better for the troops.
And I think the part, one thing that I like that you said is that, what it sounds to me is that, the military taught you what, being out, the military taught you what not to do. So now you can be an effective mentor to the soldiers and sailors that are coming behind you. And here's the advice that I'm going to give to you, my brother. Speak about your journey and share your journey with other people because people are watching you. With you becoming an E9 in the army, people are watching what you're doing, so you still have a big voice. And I think that a lot of people miss this is that they don't look. Think about how many soldiers you impacted through your 25 plus years, 30 years in the army. How many people that know who you are still, right? And all of those people. So you know, I've been out since 2016, and this refreshes me to be able to still communicate with veterans. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you got a young sailor or soldier that's in a leadership position, and then now you graduated. You graduated from the VA Loan Masterclass, so you know how to communicate it. So now, after you graduate from the veteran wealth formula that we're doing, then you'll be able to have more tools in your toolbox to lead. And I kind of feel like, I'm a believer. I kind of feel like people put people in a certain place for a certain reason. And it's funny that a leader right now has a E9 is retired E9 is on the show first because I believe that your impact based off of your journey from the information that you learn is going to put a lot of people in a position to win further, right? You're going to be a reflection of me from the information that I give you. And then you're going to utilize your tutelage from Carlton Sheets, Grant Cardone, and myself on how to have that encouragement to get out and buy more real estate. What do you think about that?
Anthony, that is that is a good point, and that is also my journey today. Just something a little bit about me too. I'm a also a life insurance licensed agent.
Oh, you a hustler.
So
You a
so
hustler. Trying to get the bag,
so,
man.
but but the key thing, there are always reason why I end up getting those things, because I realize how financial our lack financial education of our military, especially our soldiers and military members that I come across. And not only that too is lack of protections. You know I Even though I was part of a financial, of course, not naming, first command, stuff, but financial advisor with them was kind of helped me to understand the protection of families, like they're having life insurance and things like that, right? Um, but for me, I end up become this life license agent because I also want to make sure the soldiers have a protection, because a lot of them feel, okay, hey, I have this SGLI of 450,000 or $500,000 that would have for the rest of my life. But as soon as you walked out, that whole SGLI goes away. So that is another key thing too. That what I'm helping a lot of veterans today here in my location, El Paso, because I'm right outside Fort Bliss, Texas. So it's a military town. So of course, that's where majority of the clients I talk to is all the veterans, all the old retirees, and so many of them, it's the same thing too. It's elective protections that I try to help them. But real estate is still my primary, because of course I push on the real estate because my specialty for the real estate is the pre-foreclosures. So
Mhm.
we only acquire the pre-foreclosure property and things like that from. And then the sad thing about it, majority of the people that I deal with is always a veteran, you
Wow.
know.
And I'm gonna tell
But because of
you, I'm gonna tell
the knowledge that I'm gonna learn from you,
you. Mhm.
I'll probably, instead of the pre-foreclosure the technique that I use, I'll probably use the knowledge that came from you with the VA loan.
And I'm glad that you said that, because I'm gonna tell you something. Listen, guys, look, if you guys need to get information about, if you stick here long enough and you believe that you life insurance policies is one of the 5 generational wealth building pillars. So I'm gonna tell you guys right now, because this is the reason why I'm getting goosebumps right now, because it's crazy. Because when we talk about these things, man, you don't have to. I'm not a professional in life insurance, but I have life insurance policies, right? And the way that I look at it is that, why would you want to go get a life insurance policy from a non-veteran? Let's ask that
I,
question. A veteran is going to speak the same language. So what we're going to do is, the reason why we're going to be able, what we're going to do before the end of the live, I'm going to post your information, so we can build together. Because listen, guys, one thing about veterans is that we got to work together. Like, if I know someone, if a person is a sergeant major, he's investing in real estate and he's utilizing my information to get in front of more veterans, and you have a small business that you want to get in front of me, get on a podcast with us, because I'm going to drive business to him, because I know he's going to take care of vets, because his reputation precedes him, because he served on active duty and retired honorably. So he's going to give you a policy that's going to be able to help you grow your wealth, right? So let's talk about these 5 generational wealth pillars right now. Put number 5 in the chat for those of you that are on live Instagram. Okay, check this out. Number 1, real estate. Okay, that is the one that prints money. That's the only one out of the 2 things that prints money. Number 2 is going to be your corporation. The corporation is going to lower your taxable income, and then it's going to unlock the number 3, which is going to be contribution and pension plans, right? So 1, 2, 3 out of the fist of the generational wealth pillars. Okay, all right. Number 4 is going to be life insurance policies. The life insurance policy is going to be another asset to where you can borrow money against. It could grow your money, and then also it can print money for you, because your cash value of that life insurance policy, you're investing in something that's going to be able to. Did you know that you can use life insurance policies to buy property? Did you know that you can grow your life? You can grow. You have. It's not just about when you die. Life insurance policies can last in perpetuity based off of the value of them. And then also the 5th and final pillar to make the fist, right, is going to be the trust, to protect it all, to pass it down from one person to another. So number 5, here it is again. Real estate, number 1. Number 2 is going to be your corporation. Number three is going to be your contribution and pension plans. You cannot do any contribution or pension plans without having a business, right? Number four is going to be life insurance policies, and then number five is going to be a trust. So I'm glad that you said that because a lot of people overlook the life insurance policy step. So make sure before, remind me after the live to pin your information so people can get a hold of you. I'm gonna put that on my life insurance I'm gonna put that on my life insurance. I'm gonna put that at the end of the show on how people can reach you. What made you get into life insurance, by the way? I'm curious to know what made you get into that genre.
So when I retired 2017, that is one of the proud moment that my mom was like so exciting, right? On that 2017 when I retired. But the following year at 2018, my mom got diagnosed with cancer.
Oh man, my
And
dad
then,
had cancer in 2010.
yeah, so 2010, January 2018, she diagnosed with cancer. October of 2018, 8, 9 months later, she passed away, right? And when she passed away in that month, that's when we realized that she did not have anything, no policy, nothing. And her wish was to take her back home, right? So to take her back home in the islands for her final burial and stuff like that. So when I got back home from after we take her back home for the funeral, of course, we all got together, come up with the money, but majority of the fund came from me to take her to for her final wish. So as soon as I came back, 2019 January, I went and got me my license. I said, you know what? I told my siblings, this is going to be the last time that we ever going to find ourselves that nothing to protect you or your kids or your family. So as soon as I got my license, so I went out and then insured every single siblings I had across the board because I told them, somebody, I were not going to pay for any more funeral. That you have to pay for your own expense for your own funeral. So that's the reason why I got into it. But not only that too, but the more knowledge that I gained from it, so it became a financial knowledge that I help soldiers now what the value, like you mentioned about the cash value that will grow down the road, that they always can bank on yourself, from that cash value.
And I'm glad that you said that. And guys, the fundamental thing when we're talking about these things is that it's not this or that. It's always a pros and cons to everything that you do, right? So if you just got real estate and you have no corporation, then you're volatile to lawsuits. If you have contribution and pension plans like 401ks and all that other stuff, you're volatile to the market. If the stock market crashes, you lose your money, right? Now, if you have life,
Yes.
when you got life insurance policy, you now have another asset or another vehicle that can grow your money and that you can borrow against. You can do infinite banking with life insurance policies. Let me tell you how gangster I am with my stuff, man. I have my life insurance policies to pay off my real estate debt so my kids inherit a bank. So,
Yes.
and this is what we're going to be talking about, guys. When we're discussing this stuff, this is what we're going to get into. But I want y'all to make sure y'all hit my brother up after this live. Okay. Now, don't get on him because he's Army. This is a Marine verifying that my brother is good to go. Get your life insurance policies tight. Okay. For those of you who are listening to this, I mean, and it doesn't matter where you're at. It depends on what you've overcome. So let's go back to what some of the challenges that you faced. Okay, you got stationed from different places to other places. You had a family. You decided that you wanted to buy a property in Georgia. Okay, that got you interested in real estate, and then now you went through a family situation with your spouse. So you reenlisted, and then now you decided to get out in 2017. Now, how did you get into what made you actually get into foreclosures now? And then we're going to talk about what your future plans are for real estate. What is the plan? How many units do you want to have, and where do you want them located?
So I appreciate it, Anthony. So the key thing for real estate for me was always that highlight from carton sheets. There's so many times through that period from '96 before I retired, I always like open up the CD or the video or the cassette, right? So I'm sitting there watching. Matter of fact, I still have the VHS videos, right? I pop it in there and watch his video and stuff like that, right? And it was so funny. it's always like kind of circulate through my mind. And then when I retired 2017, I still tell myself, I know I'm going to do real estate, real estate, real estate. So I got into some of of course, the real estate guru, be part of their program, and learn about fix and flip. So 2016, 17, so I went in there and worked with it, pick up some properties on the fix and flip, and then when after done with those fix and flip, and I look at the profit and the work, it still didn't match up with all the effort and work you put in on that fix and flip, right? And then realize like, man, it's got to be something better. And then I found another guru talking about pre foreclosures,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's almost the same program as what Carlton Sheet announced back then, but this guy's kind of like changed the program to a whole different level where you able to take the house, you know, subject to
Subject
the
to
existing.
financing. Oh yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. So I learned that. So I got into that. So of course it works out well. Pick up some couple properties and things like that, right? And that's where it fast forward. It changed from fix and flip to subject to pre foreclosure. So focus on a lot of pre foreclosure properties, and then fast forward again, and I say. And then I've been following Grant Cardone since I think I saw the first video of Grant Cardone 2018. I was like, man, this guy is crazy. I don't need to watch his stuff. And I was on my Facebook keep popping up with all these announcements. My email pop up. I was like, man, how the heck this guy get my email, right? So one day, I think on 2019, he has a real estate conference that he did. So I went in there and joined his program in 2019, right before COVID, December 19. I signed up for his program. They had a whole thing in Miami. I said, hey, I can't come down there. There's all the COVID crazy stuff. So I still follow him all along. And then the Growth Conference that he had, one of the largest one he had, I think was back in Miami again. That's when President Trump was the guest speaker.
Oh.
Uh, yeah, when he was there, right? So I'm watching and I'm just like, man, this guy talks some big dream stuff, right? Grant Cardone. And I was like, man, I need to stay on top of it. So I finally got to his program. So I got his multifamily. So that's why, man, I need to learn this multifamily stuff. But there's always that hesitant, right? Because man, that's too dangerous. But I also, you have the outsiders that keep on filling your head with like,
Out.
hey, multifamily is dangerous, right? It's too risky. It's too expensive. How much money you got to put in? So of course, I always kind of have that setback because keep listening to the outside instead of just taking that step and move forward. But I've been following Grant, since then, and of course, I keep renewing the program with him. I even got his calculator. You know.
But I'm gonna tell you something, man. Listen, I'm gonna tell you how crazy how we stepped onto this, man. We Grant offered me an opportunity of a lifetime that I will always be fundamentally thankful for because he saw the value in what we were trying to do for vets. He's not asking us to charge a bunch of money. He wants the barrier of entry to be low. And then when we were able to talk about how veterans can get their real estate journey started with the single family homes to get into the multi basis, that is the catalyst to getting the revenue. I mean, think about it. $1 million, $100,000 will buy you a $500,000 multifamily.
Yeah,
So I'm pretty
exactly.
sure all your equity positions that you have right now with leveraging your and here's an example. Let's do a quick example, and I'm pretty sure you're swift with the math, and I'll help you out. So if let's just say that you guys, and for those of you that are listening right now, we're going to work through a real time scenario. You got a single family home, you bought it, you have equity position. Let's just say you have 200,000 of equity in your property. That's pretty easy feat to achieve in the last 8 years. You take $100,000. So 20% of $500,000 is $100,000, right? So now you buy a multifamily. Now here's a fundamental difference. Let's just say you bought a fourplex. You start small. You wanted to buy a fourplex, and I wanted to raise the rent $75 per 4 doors. So 75 times 4 is what? Let's do it real time, guys. And
300.
300.
300.
So $300 times 12 months is what? Extra. Extra what in your revenue pot?
36.
Now, let's
36.
look at, so if I raise the rent $100 on a single family home for 12 months, that's $1,200 I get extra. If I buy the same property for the same amount with 4 doors, I'm able to raise my rent by raising the rent less $75 versus the $100, and I get $3,600 extra a year versus the single family home. Now, what happens to those people? Because you're an investor, what happens to those people with a single family home if I raise the rent $100 and they don't want to pay it? They move out, right?
They move up. Yeah.
So when you move out, you have vacancy loss. You got to still pay the mortgage. You still got to pay the insurance. You still got to pay the taxes. Now, if I have to evict a person from that single family home, I'm not getting any revenue for 6 to 9 months. But if I have the multifamily, when you're looking at it, a couple of things. You're able to get more revenue for a multifamily by raising the rent less. You have more opportunity for, washing machine, premium parking. You have more opportunities to draw revenue. And that's just a small example. If I have one person I got to evict, I still have reoccurring money coming in from the other 3 doors. And that's what we're going to learn in the wealth formula. Now, I do have a question for you. What did you learn? What was the biggest? Give me 2 takeaways from the free VA loan masterclass that you learned from coming to the course. And what made you sign up for the wealth formula?
So when I saw your highlight, of course, Grant shoot those crazy highlight with you in the background, the VA this, VA that, and when I first saw it, it's funny, Anthony, that uh when I first signed up with Grant in 2019, that was one of the things I keep telling myself, how can I approach this guy talking about using the VA loan by the real estate? But you beat me to it because you went smart right into it and understand. But I could not get in my mind say, man, how can I express about the VA? How can we assist, right? But the class on Friday that you taught was one thing that I picked it up. I didn't know about the VA loan. I know that you can buy multifamily, but not the way that you were taught on Friday that we show on that short podcast. And then also I mentioned to you about the using the VA with the reduction loan for the interest. I mean, the interest reduction by using the VA and nothing, no fee or anything extra come through it. Because right now, we do have a property right now that is a VA, and I was like, okay, I need to reach out to the owner again because I took it from as a pre-foreclosure. So when I learned about that, I even shot them email because they moved to Hawaii. So hey, I need to speak to you this week. So we're supposed to have a call tomorrow, Wednesday, with this owner about the property that they decided to move out and then sign it over to me with the subject to.
Now, I'm going to tell you a
But
couple of.
those are the key things. Yeah.
So what he's talking about is the 100% cash out refinance, and then the buying the multifamily with the potential income of the vacant units. So VA loans allow you to use 75% of the potential income. So you already being a seasoned investor, you have landlord experience. So now all you have to have is 6 months of reserves to get that multifamily. And guess what? That person that has that VA loan, if they have equity, and you're doing the subject to, that property is still under that veteran's entitlement. So now what we're going to learn is how can they do an interest rate reduction refinance loan to cash flow, to have tighter margins, right? To lower the income of the property, right? So possibly lower the monthly payment of the property by doing an IRRRL if it's available. And then also we're going to look at that equity position to see if we can either do a home equity line of credit, which you can do with the VA loan, or possibly take a cash out refinance. So you can keep that low interest rate in place, do a home equity line of credit with the VA loan. And then also we can do some other alternative things. So listen, this is what I'm gonna do for you. Okay. So this is it. When you let's make a deal, my army brother. Okay. When you graduate from the wealth formula, okay, you and I are gonna figure out a way to get out there in Texas, and we're going to get to the military installation, and then we're going to get some veterans, and we're going to do a master class on VA loans and life insurance. I rock,
Yes.
I
Yes.
rock the,
I'm
this,
with you.
I rock the VA loan and investing, and you rock the life insurance policy, and then we'll run it back to back like that.
Yes, definitely. That would be awesome. That would
Okay.
be awesome. Yeah.
So I do have another question for you. If you could go back in time, what advice would you give your 19-year-old self today? What if you could go and look yourself in the face and say, "Hey, uh, hey, dirtbag." Nalu, what would you tell your 19-year-old self today? Besides, get on your face and give me some push-ups.
I think I ask myself that question all the time. I say, man, the knowledge and everything that I learned today, it is crazy. And then if I tell the 19-year-old today, and that's what I deal with it now. So with the life insurance agent, we get a lot of the youth, the licensed agent that comes in, and some of them are soldiers, some of them are veterans that recently got out. So one of the things I always tell them, if I was that 19-year-old just joined the army today, I will talk to them about finance. I will talk to them about how can we help you to structure your financial long-term planning. um, and one of the key thing that, fortunately, we're talking about life insurance. I was lucky enough at age of 24, 25. Of course, go back to the advisors. They pushed me to have a life insurance policy, but I wasn't aware of it, but I just went and signed up for it. And even though every end of the month I had maybe a cash value of $200, $300 to live with it a whole month. But I was grateful now because those are the four policy I had. I was able to pull some of them to start the real estate, to start the life insurance with the cash value as we were mentioning before. So if I would tell the 19-year-old today, it's the same thing I advise them today. I say, hey, let's look at right now, whatever term that you have. If you have 10 years or you have 6 years, you come in, let's structure a financial planning. And I usually tell them about life insurance, because of the cash value they grow, because they got that guaranteed paycheck for the next 6 years. They need to build something up for the cash value. So whatever term they need, they're not going to have. They're going to get out in 10 years. At least they're going to walk out and have something to start a business with it. And then not only that, too, like what I advise with a lot of my Samoans brothers that's coming in, I always tell them, hey, fix your credit, buy a house. I don't care how big a house is, just small enough, just as an investment, because down the road, you're going to be grateful that you have this property. So that's for me today, telling all these 19-year-old coming in, if they're eligible just to buy a house today. Because real estate, matter of fact, it was just a month ago, I had a young E6 staff sergeant wants to sell his house. So I asked him two questions from the life insurance perspective and the real estate person. I say, are you struggle today to make the payment? I say, no, I'm not struggle. Do you have a tenant? I say, yes, I have a tenant. How much you rent the property? $1,500. What is your payment? $1,100. So you have a cash flow. You have it, but you're complaining about making, a property management or get somebody to go fix a property, and you only have one property. So
And
he changed his mind and he realized that he want to keep that property for the rest of his life now.
And what's crazy about it is it's a tax write-off. Like people be thinking like, oh, the property manager, I got to do all of this, I got to do all of that. Guys, listen, man, we're trying to tell you how to get to the bag, man. Look, I'm going to prove a point, and I'm going to show y'all something before we get off the live. And the last and final question that I have for you, brother, is how can people reach out to you to get advice on life insurance policies? That if you come on I appreciate you coming on the live. I'm thankful for you being here. What is the best way to reach out to you? How can people find you? How can they find you?
So I do have I can, if you want me to send you my information here. So my phone number, they can reach out to me on text, or I can send you the link that they can go in there and put
Well,
their information in.
let me tell you
Yeah.
something. You're on a YouTube right now. So guess what?
Oh,
You're live on YouTube. We're live right now. You're live on
oh,
Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, Christian Mingle.
holy goodness! They
Bro,
warned me that
live
we're
right now.
live.
Like this is live and in color. Hey, we keep it real over here, man. Ain't no look. This is raw and uncut. Ain't no scripting, nothing, bro.
Hey,
Keep it live.
I, I could wear a suit, man.
Man,
I could wear a suit, man.
man. Give me your link, bro. How can I get business? I'm trying to send you business.
I could wear a suit. Let me put my link in. Oh my gosh, that is so crazy.
Yeah. So what's the best way to reach you? So what's a website or something that?
So here's my here's my phone number. You can put it in there. I don't care. So the phone number is 915.
I'm,
Let me pull up my link because I don't remember my link.
man, I
You know,
really,
because
man,
I
I'm really
just I
trying to
just send the
start
link
some
on the
business.
uh, and I send the link directly to to all the information I had, and then like on the email I send the link out to people, and so the phone number is 915-309-6565. They can text me. If not, they can leave a voicemail if they reach out. Um, and I'm gonna post the my link here in a second on the message that you have there. Is that the message that we can um, that
Yeah,
you can see in there?
yeah, I'm live right now on Instagram and Facebook. So what I did is I put your, I'm gonna pin it for you. 915-309-655.
Oh,
Is that correct?
yes,
Okay,
yes.
I
Uh,
just put that on my messenger, guys. And then what's your first and last name for the people so they can Google you if can't remember the number?
so the first name is Galu, and the last name Satele, Satele. But put a middle initial P in there because there's another my cousin the same name.
Okay, fantastic, guys. So
Yeah.
listen, man. If you guys want to remember, this replay is going to be on. If you guys want information, reach out to my brother. Okay, his number is 915-309-6565. If you guys are interested, if you're a service member and you're looking to get a free consultation about life insurance policies, I want you to reach out to him. And then also, guys, if you guys want to set up, if you want to get in our free VA loan masterclass, is going to be taking place at the end of the month. Okay, let us know. We will be able to rock out with you guys. And you guys can reach me at TonyGlennII.com, TonyGlennII, 2N's2I's.com, or 760-573-2731. Text the word WIN, WIN, not WHEN for you ASVAB waivers. WIN, WIN to 760-573-2731 if you guys want to us to interconnect you with my brother for life insurance policies, or if you're trying to get to the bag. Listen, don't reach out to us if you're not willing to take action. Okay. Look, man, I'm gonna close out with this. Listen, if you're uncomfortable with talking about money, you don't deserve to have it. Okay. So
Amen.
if you want to talk about finances, you want to get out of the rat race, we don't care where you're at. If you got bad credit, if you got pearly yellows, we don't care about your teeth being missing. We don't care about any of that. We want to give you the information, and then it's going to be up to you to get your life insurance policies and your real estate so you can get out there and win. Brother, this has been a phenomenal podcast. We appreciate you pulling up. Do you have any closing
And
remarks?
Anthony, I just put the link in there. So on your messenger.
Okay.
So if you can share with everybody, yeah.
Okay, I got you. I got you, brother. And then don't forget that we're going to be looking forward to coming out there to Texas. If you give me we could advertise it. If you give me an audience, I can rock it for you, man. We
Roger.
out there and teach. We could do it. And shout out to Harlem checking in. We got people all on the live. That's why I'm looking all crazy. But I appreciate you coming on here, and I look forward to seeing you at the Veteran Wealth Forum, brother. Thank you for your service, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, sir.